Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So today we're doing something a little bit different again. We're not going for a guide, going more for an open letter format to Darktide and to Fatshark in general. So pull up your chairs, stay a while and listen. This is more going to be things we want to see changed in Darktide, long-term goals, short-term goals, and just other things. Because I've been reading a lot on the forums, and God's fucking help me, the Steam forums. And to that I could say, Jesus Christ, Steam forums. Oh, fucking animals. So, let's get started, shall we? So, Fatshark have been making some really decent changes recently. You know, they're actually putting out content. They're doing hot fixes. They're fixing stuff. Yeah, the whole AMD driver issue was unacceptable and a fucking nightmare because half the player base couldn't play. And to be honest, they should have caught that before the patch went live, but they didn't. But they did fix it within 12 hours of it going live. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. Just to put it out there, I'm not defending anyone. I like the game. I would like to see it better. I want them to do better because I enjoy playing it. You know, they're a big corporation company. They don't need defending. You know, don't defend corporations, people. That they're not your friends. Okay? But hopefully they will listen. If enough of us, you know, give constructive feedback instead of just going mental on the forums, because it doesn't help. By all means, be angry at them, but be angry and give suggestions. You know, just a bit of advice. So, what do we want? So I've been trying to compile a list of suggestions people have been throwing out, and if I've seen a suggestion flag up quite a few times, I've tried to jot it down. Shut up, Morrow. Try to jot it down. Make notes of it. So I've tried to also categorize it into sort of short, mid, and long-term goals for the game. So short-term goals, a lot of people, and I would like to see, is the unlocking of the crafting restrictions. And if you don't know what I mean, most of you will, I'll show you now. Why have they arbitrarily locked one perk and one blessing? So people will say, oh, it's to, you know, make you play the game more so you get more weapons. No. If you've played Vermintide or Vermintide 2, most people will have 3 or 4 of the same weapon with different blessings and perks on them for different situations. Doing this just makes the whole thing much more of an arseache. I don't enjoy spending all of my goddamn resources and money continuously trying to roll something. Like, let's have a quick look at the Thunderhammer situation. I have rolled, these are just the ones that I've not gotten rid of out of my bag yet. 40 or 50 of them trying to get different blessings. And yeah, I don't mind so much the system of, you know, you've got to find the blessing and earn it. Okay, that's fine, whatever, you know. It's a gameplay loop. But once I've got it, let me modify the goddamn weapons to how I want. You know, it just seems quite an arbitrary annoyance, and a lot of people have been complaining about it. The next big thing people have been asking for, which I agree with, is let us pick the maps. I understand they've gone whole hog in this kind of like, oh, you know, this is a priority mission, go do this. But it's not working. People are unhappy with it. And I really do think they should go back to the Vermintide 2 system of give us all the maps and then show the lobbies that are open so people can join the lobbies, or just randomly join lobbies, you know. It just seems, again, arbitrarily gating content for no real reason other than to annoy the player base. I understand what they were going for, to make it feel more like you're doing strike missions, you're part of a squad, you're doing this, you're doing that, but it hasn't panned out that way. And I think it is time to dump that thinking and just unlock everything for everyone. Just allow people to choose the maps they want to play. Some people really love investigation missions. I don't understand it because I hate them, but that's just me. Some people absolutely love strikes or whatever. There are always going to be maps that are more popular than others, so just let people play them. And this is a suggestion I've seen as well, but I'm not sure how much I agree with it. But it does tie into what they're doing with the mission board. A lot of people want to be able to add their own modifiers to maps to make them harder, to make them easier, like high intensity engagement zone or low intensity of hunting grounds. People want that to be a choice, but I think a nice middle ground is if they don't want to bin this system, keep priority missions in like they are now with the conditions on, and have them as the priority missions, and also allow us to choose the maps we want. But you get more reward for doing the priority ones. Yeah? So they could have their cake and eat it. So this screen would continuously be the global conditioning screen, or you choose your own missions and join lobbies like in Vermintide. I do think that is a nice middle ground for everyone to meet in. But, we'll see. So that's sort of short-term goals. Mid-term goals I was looking at. A lot of people, and I don't personally understand this because I've put in 7,000 to 8,000 hours in like Vermintide 1, 2, and Darktide combined, and a lot of people want solo queues. This game is not friendly to solo players. The only people who really solo in, say, Vermintide 2 are people who are trying to push solo kata runs for clout. And I have managed most cataclysm runs solo, but they're not fun. It's not fun doing it, so I'm not sure why people want solo queues, but I do think it should be an option. I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do it. So if you're trying to do penances and you want to do them on your own, then fair enough, have a solo queue. Just because I don't personally enjoy solo queue, I like just joining up with pugs or playing with friends. I don't think the solo queue shouldn't be in the game. I think it should be there as an option for people who want it. I don't understand why it's not. But, hopefully at some point they will give us the solo queue because people want it, and it's not a game-breaking issue. But an issue I do see, and a lot of people are asking for this, is the bots in this game. So Fatshark has a long history of the bots being absolutely fucking useless. They kind of fixed it in Vermintide 2 towards the very end. But the bots in this game are useless. They might as well not be there. What people want is a bot system like Vermintide 2 had, where it actually uses your characters, your loadout, your talents, your weapons, your skins, everything. And to be honest, I think that should be in this game as well. I understand what they were going for in the beginning. The whole you're just a filthy convict and the bots to join you are just other convicts. But it's not helpful. The bots are terrible and they basically instantly die. I do think they need to stop digging in with a lot of these issues and actually listen to the player base. Because to be completely honest, this game is basically it's a 40k version of Vermintide. They should have taken a lot of the positive stuff from Vermintide and just passed it over. Now, something I don't agree on is people saying the melee combat feels absolutely horrible. It really doesn't. The melee combat is very good in this game. Yes, it is not as difficult as the melee combat in Vermintide, but they are different beasts. Yes, there is a huge amount of similarity, and even like 30 seconds ago I was banging on about how they're basically the same game. Yes, but the combat systems are different. Vermintide was mostly melee with a small amount of hybrid ranged. This game is 50-50. And a lot of people on the forums have been saying, oh, you know, what's the point of having ranged weapons if all you're going to do is horde clear with melee? There are lots of horde clearing ranged weapons. The braced auto guns, the auto pistols, the flamethrowers. Most of the Psyker Staves, Stubbers, basically every single Ogryn weapon apart from the shotgun. There are options. Just because you're choosing the easier option to melee the horde doesn't mean that is the only option. So I completely disagree with that argument. I do think they've gotten the combat system down quite nicely. There should be a lot more ranged weapons. I've even taken some notes of some of the weapons people would like to see. A melter gun, bolt pistol, dual las pistols and dual auto pistols. More staves for the Psykers. A goddamn two-handed weapon for the Ogryn. Like, come on, give them a two-handed weapon. They have a vast armory and history from Games Workshop to pull from. They should be adding these things in. Yes, I know they've been on the back foot for the last 6 months trying to fix the absolute shit show which was the launch. But these should be things that they're talking about and, you know, talking about with the player base. They should be telling us like, oh, you know, we're working on this, we're looking at doing this. It's like, actually tell us what's going on, and maybe some of this frustration would ease slightly. So long-term goals. Add secondary and tertiary career paths for each class. This is not going to be a quick fix. This is not coming anytime soon. So I would not expect this within the next 12 months. Vermintide 2 started out with each career had 3 career paths from the get-go. Darktide does not. We are not going to see new careers for a while. I would like to see them. I want them. I want more things to play with in the game. As I said, I really enjoy the game. I'm going to stop staring at the map screen now because it's irritating me. But yeah, I would like to see more career paths, and so would a lot of you. But it's not going to be a quick fix. This is a long-term, what we want sort of goal. And more maps, obviously. And on the map subject, I'm going to quickly talk over what a lot of people have been saying, that the storyline in this game is absolute dog shit. Vermintide had a much better storyline. But did it really? Did it? It was kind of just a loose collection of maps that kind of sort of correlated with each other. You did 3, then you went and killed a bad man. Most of the story came from Loner or the characters talking to each other. There wasn't much of a story in it, to be completely honest. I love the game. As I said, I've put thousands of hours into it. The maps are beautiful. All the set pieces are really nice. But I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, that was a really great RPG story in it, because there fucking wasn't. It was a multiplayer horde clearing game with lovely set pieces and some nice banter between the characters. It wasn't like The Witcher 3. There wasn't an overarching huge storyline. Like, you know, some of the voice actors like, oh, we don't talk about what happened in Castle Drakenfell. But what the fuck happened in Castle Drakenfell? It all went a bit wibbly wobbly, but other than that, not much really happened. It's just the voice lines, you know, it added more depth to the whole thing, and I enjoyed it. But I'm not going to sit here and bang on saying that it was the world's greatest RPG like some people have been going on about, because it fucking wasn't, because that's not what game it was. It's a horde clear, and a fun horde clear at that. So they're the long-term, short, mid, and long-term goals that most people are wanting. And I'm just going to go through some others, like smaller fixes that I think would improve the game, and a lot of other people have said on the forums. And most of this information is picked up from multiple people saying the same thing on the forums. So I thought I'd just correlate it all down for everyone. Firstly, fix the pox hounds. They are absolutely ridiculous. They bounce all over the place, and they do not have a clear leaping path. They fix the mutants somewhat, so you can actually dodge them, but pox hounds, they seem to have 180-degree arc of just being able to fucking turn in midair. They should just make it a standard, when they're about to leap, they stop, and it's almost like Kruber's charge from Vermintide 2. It goes in a straight line. They're very, very silly. And also, I'm sick of them bouncing continuously. Like, if you don't kill them in the first hit, the fucking thing bounces like a rubber ball, and you're like, where did it go? A lot of people want to see the cleave fixed. I'm not too sure on this one. Yes, there was kind of unlimited cleave in Vermintide, but this game has a more not refined, I'd say cagey approach to cleave. So there are blessings that improve your cleave, but cleave is capped at 3 to 4 to possibly 5 enemies. So I'm not too sure on the cleave one here, but it is something a lot of people have asked for. Another one I touched on earlier, Vermintide 2 style bots. And I know a lot of you are going to be sick at this point of me saying Vermintide 2, Vermintide 2. This game is basically built off of the bones of Vermintide 2. And if anyone disagrees, I will just point you towards the Chaos Spawn that they've added, which is almost copy and pasted from Vermintide 2 into the game. The exact same attack patterns, movement patterns, animation, and everything. They've just added a chain to its wrist. Not that I'm annoyed about it, but it is pretty much just a copy paste. And also, that thing needs to be fucking toned down. I've seen it bowl off an entire team on a bridge, which is a bit silly. Funny, but silly. And I think Fatshark need to start doing more player polls and actually talking to the community a bit more. Like, if they want information, polls up. You know, ask people what they want. It's not difficult. I just think that yes, they've been a lot more open and more communicative since there was almost a riot when the game came out as it did. But they need to be more open about it. If they actually want to fix this and make it a success and raise its goddamn Metascore off Steam from like 50%, then they do need to actually start talking to the core audience. Yeah. But let's talk about expectations. None of this is going to be quick. So, again, Vermintide and Vermintide 2, they were broken pieces of shit when they came out. Any of you out there who actually played them when they were first released, Vermintide 1 for the first year was an absolute dog shit piece of shit. It really was. And Vermintide 2 took nearly 2 years to fix. But they did fix it. You know, they actually put the work in and they did fix them. And in its end form, Vermintide 2 was very, very popular, especially with the Chaos Wastes and the lobby system they put in. I love the Chaos Wastes. I know it was just several maps and then they kind of added the whole like Diablo-esque random map generator thing to it, but I thought it was quite cool. I really enjoyed it. We played it lots. But Fatshark does have a history of rocky starts with basically every single one of their games, but they do end up putting the goddamn work in to fix it. It's just none of this is going to be quick. And again, I'm not defending anyone. I just like the game and I would like to see it in a better situation than it is. And I really do hope they actually turn it around, because, you know, if they carry on like it is, the game's going to stagnate. And I don't think anyone really wants that. Still, yeah, that's kind of my open letter to Darktide once again. My open letter to Fatshark. So, if you agree or like anything that I've talked about, you know, like, subscribe, share the video around, you know, get people talking about it. We need less forum rage and more, you know, back and forth. And yeah, I know Fatshark is a lot to blame for this, because they're not communicating with anyone, and it is frustrating. But without a kind of any communication with the developers, nothing's going to change. And I think we all want change. Change is good. But yeah, if you've enjoyed it, the content, like, subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. This has been my long-winded ramble about what kind of needs to be fixed in the game, because there is a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. So until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you later.